Alrighty, we're live now.
Whoop whoop.
Right.
And to start things off, so I had mic problems, so I'm using my side account, my new vlogging account, to do this stream and talk, and I have to mute my primary account, so that's why there's two of me.
He didn't clone himself. He can't figure out the potion for that.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a handy-ass potion, just a clone of myself. Then I could team drive.
I don't miss trucking.
Yeah, I heard you say that on that Undoom stream. Did you drive in the U.S., or was that just when you were in the military?
It was mostly over in Europe. I drove a little here in the U.S., but it was too much to take after my injuries in Iraq. I can't spend that much time in a truck bouncing up and down anymore. It fucking kills my back.
Shit, I'm only 20 and it was killing my back.
Well, you're also a massive pussy, so.
Lick my ass.
That, and I kind of wanted something more stable, closer to home. After traveling my whole, like for 5 years of my life and being in the military and going all over the place, I kind of wanted to set up roots. I didn't want to go back out on the road.
Understandable.
But I'm not judging people who do this for a living. Obviously, it's a fucking good, hard working living. Just not for me anymore. Just not for me anymore. I can't do the whole trucking thing anymore. Just can't do it. I do kind of miss driving a truck though, double clutching.
Oh yeah, the driving's the fun part.
All in the load. So anyway, what's up, guys?
Not much. I got stuck in Salt Lake because of the holiday, and that's pretty much it. They pissed me off. They California, which would have taken care of all but today. But then they didn't think I was going to make it, even though I would have. So they relayed it and gave me a load going to Salt Lake City. But I got here 3 days early, and they have no other freight for me to do because of the holiday.
Right. That does happen.
I'm just stuck at home because I can't find a job anywhere.
That happens too.
Told my parents I should just start applying to the out-of-state jobs because I get those before I get ones in-state.
And take it from somebody who's been working since he was 16. You got to do what you got to do, man. This is all new for me. Most of the time I'm working a job, like an actual job, working, having a boss, all this and that. Now I'm business for myself, and it feels good.
Oh, I believe it. I'm hoping to get there within the next couple of years or so. My truck goes up for lease in roughly a year, maybe another year. I'm hoping to buy it and start working for myself after that.
Yeah, owner-operator. Get to set your own rates.
Pretty much. I'm looking at contracting with Landstar and doing flatbeds.
Right on. Flatbeds are fun. It's mostly what I drove. Flatbeds.
Everybody looks at... Usually it's other flatbedders, but everybody looks at me weird when I say I want to drive flatbeds.
I got used to driving flatbeds and goosenecks. Flatbeds, the flatbeds we used were 40-footers, and they had the keys on them so that you could drop a Connex onto it and then lock it in place. Or you could load pallets on it, so it had like a double use. So flatbeds are the most versatile for almost any kind of cargo.
Oh yeah, I used to work with my grandfather when he was alive. He bought and sold old tractors, and he would sometimes transport them for customers. And how many trips I went on with him, but we did a lot of work, and he had a flatbed gooseneck that he custom made out of a silage truck that my uncle crashed. Still trying to buy that gooseneck back, actually.
And I'm the only one with a pickup to pull it.
Yeah, I need to get me a truck. I'm tired of driving a car because I plan on buying some more land this year and building a house. I'm getting out of this apartment. So
That's a plan for us too. My wife and I were looking at buying a camper and a pickup to pull it, and then using that to live in until we can build a house.
That's a tough way of life. It's cramped. There's a guy in Minnesota.
I drive a truck for a living. I'm used to cramped.
A guy I worked with in Minnesota, him and his wife both lived in a fifth wheel camper for several years, and he did that just so he could save up money, and he said he had over $100,000 saved up.
Oh, it's definitely a cheap way to live. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that it's also tough. Because, campers essentially are just paper houses. I mean, it's not exactly a stable home, but it can be done. I've known some gypsies in my life who lived in campers, and they'd park it in an RV park, and they pay the whatever, like $100 a week to just set up their camper, and that was a cheap way of living. That's a cheap rent right there, And you can definitely save some money if you got a decent job. I mean, there's a reason why in our economy things like tiny homes and stuff have become more popular. People aren't buying great big old giant houses that are $300,000 anymore. People want to try to budget and live within their means and actually have money to do things more than own things. And I think that that's a good shift in the American economy, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea of a tiny home. Not super tiny, because I need space, but, I don't need a mansion. I don't even need like a 2,000 square footer or anything like that. I'd be perfectly happy in like a 1,000 square foot 2-bedroom, Yeah. Like, that's plenty of space for me as long as I have a big-ass shop to put everything in that I own. Like, I don't care about my actual living space. What do I need? A bed, a kitchen, a place to put my TV on the wall so I can fucking watch television and surf the internet, and that's about it, Like,
exactly.
I need a place to sleep and a place to, knock boots and eat. That's it. Like, my space, I'm more concerned with owning land. Large, copious amounts of land if I can.
Very relatable, because I want to get horses after I get that land.
I don't know a goddamn thing about horses, but I know I like privacy. That's what I like. I don't want to see my fucking neighbors at all. Like, I want a good solid, like, acre of tree line all the way around me. It's like if I have neighbors nearby, I don't even see their house through the trees.
Like, I have mixed feelings on that, because we grew up on a 3-acre lot that was kind of like that. We had neighbors that we could see, but it was still a good size of property. But part of me wants to be in the country like that, but also due to the fact that we were able to actually see our neighbors and everything, we've got the closest friends we have outside of our immediate family.
Yeah, I want enough property that with a tree line all the way around it, so that if I can literally like step out on my back deck butt ass naked, not worry about nobody seeing me except the fucking deer. I want to be a proper redneck, just step out wearing nothing but a fucking Santa hat and a gun. I'm like, hey buddy, bam, dinner. Be like a barbarian. I'm gonna go hunting for deer naked, like my ancestors did. Throw a fucking spear at the fucking thing. That's what I'm gonna do. Nah, mostly I'm looking at properties right now to build the studio. So, and I need enough property to where I'm not only gonna be building the large indoor studio so I can have breakdown sets and different, things like that, but also enough property that I can film outside without being disturbed. Yeah. So I'd like a nice giant piece of property where I can build outdoor sets too. I can build a fucking medieval village if I want, and nobody will see it. It'll be surrounded by trees and hidden, and so that when I film, I don't, because Magog lives in a fantasy realm.
Yeah.
He lives in a medieval realm. It would suck if I was filming and Magog's out on an adventure, moving, walking through the trees, about to battle a giant CGI, giant CGI dragon, and in the background there's a fucking trailer, with some redneck in an above ground pool just sitting there like, "Howdy, neighbor," like that doesn't exactly work,
New episode of Magog. Magog dies and goes to Alabama.
All right. That would be funny, as if like Magog died here and our afterlife was our world. Like,
yes.
Is this heaven? Boy, this is Alabama. Nope, it's hell.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Yep. It's kind of like that.
Dude,
scene, it's kind of like that scene on Dogma where he's like, when the two angels rebelled against God, and they like gave him the finger, and she was like, "Did God banish him to hell?" And he was like, "Worse, Wisconsin."
Quick flashback to Poe. Magog's dead and is gone from the tower, so he's selling all Magog's shit.
Yep, that's exactly what Poe would probably do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've already got pre-approved for a loan, and I'm currently looking at properties, but unfortunately finding the perfect property for what I want to do, but is also a residence, because the loan is a VA loan, so you can't use the VA loan for a rental property or a business property. It has to be a residence. And so it has to be move-in ready, whether you use it to build something or whether it's you purchase a place that already has a home on it. Either way, but it has to be a residence. So finding the perfect piece of property that not only has the amount of land that I want, but also has that is also not so far out in the country that there's no like fucking internet, because my job now requires me to have good internet.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
that's
have
been
to be
problem lately.
Yeah, you have to be close to city utilities. I mean, you drive too far out in the country here in Arkansas, and the people that live out on farms, the people who live out in the country and have land and stuff, most of the time you'll see satellite dishes on the ceilings, on the roofs of their houses and stuff, because out there's no city internet. It's like you've got to get satellite, and satellite internet sucks balls.
Yeah.
Isn't that what?
It sucks balls for uploading, not downloading. Now, it's really good for downloading. So if you're streaming Netflix or something like that, it's fine. But you need a solid landline or a cable line in order to upload, because the upload speed on satellite internet is garbage. And I would need to stream. I would need to be able to upload. I need to be able to stream. I'd need to be able to upload my videos and stuff like that, and run a website, hopefully get a static IP address, build my own servers and stuff so I can host my own websites. And I gotta have fucking good internet for that. So,
Oh my god, Alfred Keith has a funny idea. Knowing Magog's luck, if he finds a portal, it will open into Victoria's Secret store.
I would not complain about that. Sounds like a good time to me. No, I've got my eye on a couple little properties here. The problem is that I just don't know. Man, you go to buy something, man, you're stuck with it. I mean, you can sell it in the future, but like with the VA loan, once you purchase a property using the VA loan, you have to live in it for 5 years before you can sell it.
Mm.
So I better be damn sure whatever property I pick to buy is what I'm going to live in for the next 5 fucking years. So the best property I found was this nice little spot. It already says on the website that it's cable ready. So it's near a major utility access in El Paso, Arkansas. And I've got my eye on it. It's a really nice piece of property. It's 20 acres with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath little, house on it, and a 30 by 30 metal shop already on it. And they want $127,000 for it. And that is right in the range of my pre-qualified, loan. That's right in the range of what I know I could afford. Even if like this Magog thing does terribly and it all falls out and I end up having to get a normal job, I can still at least afford that fucking place.
Yeah.
So I don't have to foreclose or something. And so that's kind of the range I'm looking at. The downside with it is that it's a little further away from Little Rock than I'd like. And because I go to school in Little Rock, it adds another 20, 30 minutes to my morning trips to school. And if I do have to find a normal job, like if all this stuff fails, which I don't want it to, but you have to prepare for the worst, as well as the best case scenarios. My worry is that if I do have to find a normal job, it's going to be fucking hour drive every day to Little Rock and then an hour back, So it's a little farther out there than I'd like. And the other downside is it basically used to be a ranch or a farm, cattle probably, or horses, because it's fully fenced, all 20 acres of it. And it fucking is clear. I mean, it is like cleared, which most people would be like, that's pretty good. But me, I like a little bit of woods, I'd like some trees, and the problem with that property is it's so completely cleared, except for where the pond is. There's a pond on the property that has like a couple trees around it or whatever, but for the most part, it's all clear. And the problem with that is I want a nice barrier between me and the neighboring land and stuff, and trees take forever to grow. Exactly. So even if I planted my own, it would take years before a good solid hardwood would take shape. So I'd have to plant mostly pines if I wanted it to grow fast, That
reminds me, John, did we finally kill Satan Tree, or is that son of a bitch still alive?
I'm pretty sure that son of a bitch still alive.
We got this fucking tree behind our garage at my mom's house. We have burnt this thing. We dug it up. We have sprayed poison on it. This motherfucker won't die.
Yep. That's because you didn't do it right. You don't know how to kill a fucking tree? Come on, man. You cut the fucking thing down. You drill holes into its fucking stump, right? And then you pour fucking motor oil over it. Nothing will grow there ever again. Not even grass. You soak the ground with old motor oil after you change the oil in your truck, you're fucking done. Just don't let the EPA catch you doing that shit.
Oh yeah, because we already had them flip their shit. We tore down our old garage. We moved it to the back lot. We were going to burn it. I think somebody called the sheriff because we got a visit from the EPA or sheriff or somebody saying we couldn't burn it.
So we waited a couple months and burned it anyway.
Yeah. I saw a comment in the chat there. Alfred Key says 125. Fuck, that would get you a ghetto over here. And he says it's in the UK when you asked where. Yeah, I lived in the UK for 5 years, and the fucking house prices are astronomical. Like, welcome to Arkansas. Like, we're one of the lowest cost of living states in the United States. You can buy land here cheap. You can build houses here cheap. If you had $500,000, you could live like a king in Arkansas. Like, literally a mansion. Like, literally a mansion. I was also looking at a nice plot of just land, and it was 35 acres for $70,000. That's fucking cheap for 35 fucking acres. You know how big 35 acres is? That's 35 fucking football fields. Oh
shit.
I'd be okay with that.
You can do anything you fucking want on 35 acres, honestly. Like, and where it's located, it's pretty much on a corner. So there's no neighbors to the north of you or the east or west, because that's the frontage road, and the back half of the property butts up against the highway. So the only neighbor I would have if I bought that 35 acres is a fucking Baptist church that's right next to it. And I bet they'd love me. Go out there and people are going to their fucking Baptist church and they look across the property line and there's fucking Morskar. There's a fucking castle and shit, I'm out there in my
dog standing across the street from Jesus yelling, "Worship me!"
Yeah. Yep.
That'd be interesting.
We'll see.
I don't think I'd mind living in Arkansas, except I would have to go to the east side because you guys have a shit ton of hills on the west side.
Why the fuck would you want to live in East Arkansas?
That's just based off of land. I haven't really stopped anywhere in the east side. Most I've been on the east side is I delivered a load in Pine Bluff once.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I asked why the fuck would you want to live in the east end of Arkansas? Pine Bluff's one of the worst cities in the fucking state, man. The crime rate there is fucking astronomical. The fucking meth capital of fucking Arkansas. That place is the fucking ghetto, man. You could buy a house in Pine Bluff for like $30. Like you walk up and be like, "Hey, you want to sell me this fucking ghetto house?" Like, property value in Pine Bluff is the worst, man.
I believe it. I also got my first freaking wreck out there.
Yeah, I had to take my CDL driver's test when I got back from the military. Because when I got back from the military, I did kind of want to be a trucker, and I took my CDL test down there in Pine Bluff, and I fucking hated every second I was there. Boy, this place sucks balls. Yeah.
Yeah, the roads are... I didn't like it either. The roads were scrawny as hell. It took me forever to figure out where I was going. I was delivered to one of the juvenile facilities down there. And then on the way out, I'm going up Interstate 530. Just before I got to Little Rock, there's a construction zone. It was like 2 years ago, but this woman pulls in front of me doing like 20 miles an hour, and I'm driving 60 in a truck. Thank God I was empty. She just runs right in front of me, doesn't even pay attention, and I ran into the back end of her. And I got pretty lucky because she confessed that she ran in front of me without looking. Otherwise, I would have gotten a ticket for it.
Yep. Welcome to Arkansas. We have some of the worst fucking drivers. And construction, that's still going on. I mean, I honestly, like, my future goals is to have a relationship that lasts as long as construction in Arkansas. like road just never fucking ends. Just never fucking ends, man.
Worst one I've seen, though, is Texas. The junction of Interstate 35W and Interstate 820, that intersection has been under construction since before I started driving. And I've been driving for 3 years.
Oh, hell. They're making headway then. Last time I'd made a Texas trip, it was down to see a friend in Abilene, and so I had to go through Dallas-Fort Worth, and the construction was fucking awful. Fucking terrible. But anyway, I don't think the 6 people watching want to hear us talk about road construction.
Probably not.
It's
gone from 6 to 8, and then 2 dropped off, and
now it's 8.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's 8 again.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I tweeted out the link, but everybody's watching the Kumite right now, so.
Yeah, I figure, holy shit, he jumped up like from 50 to like 600.
Yeah, he usually, now after all of this stuff that happened, he's usually pulling in a good anywhere between 600 and 2,000 people watching live. And he's streaming right now too. I think he went to stream with Harmful Opinions. So most people are going to be watching one of those 2 streams. Now that they're bigger, now that they've grown so well and stuff, I don't think I'll ever get on those fucking shows again, man. I can't.
Oh, hey, Bitchin' Witch shows up.
You know. I can't even. Hello, Bitching Witch. I can't even get Tonka and Andy's fucking attention anymore, man. They're so fucking busy now. They've grown so big. Now, Andy was always bigger. You know, he's had well over 200,000 subs for a while, but that his show was kind of dying out because he was doing it every day. People were getting tired of it, but now he's got a new format and people seem to like it.
Yeah, I think it's because of all the argument that goes on right now because he's always has a debate on the show.
Yep. Well, you know, like drama and controversy and, you know, all that stuff. That stuff sells, you know. People like it. People like it when there's blood in the water.
Yeah. And
I mean,
holy crap.
What would most people like to watch, you know? Tonka and Andy tearing somebody a new one, or a bunch of guys talking about road construction. Like, what do you think is more interesting? That's funny. Oh man, fucking tired. I was supposed to get a video done this weekend and I didn't. So I'm gonna try to work on some content tonight. It's New Year's Day, so everything's fucking closed anyway.
Yeah.
That's why we're here right now.
Right. My problem is that I can't seem to break out of this kind of rut that I'm in, you know? This, because I'm so tired of just doing response videos. I really am. You know, like, what more could I possibly fucking say about retards on the internet? You know? And so I want to do these bigger shows. I want to do these more, like, storyline-driven comedy shows. And, but I can't because until I can build my studio, because right now I'm in very limited space. I'm living in a one-bedroom apartment. I got no space to build new sets or anything like that. I have no space to expand. And so I'm kind of just stuck right now doing response videos because that's all I can do, you know?
Yeah.
My friend that I'm going to start making videos with, they're trying to get their one computer fixed that we're going to use to edit the videos before we can actually start making the videos. And I've got to finish my little costume I'm making myself just till the show that I'm going to be doing gets bigger and I get more people watching it. Then I'll start putting money into getting my costume.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Problem is, to start up a good show, you need a little capital. Like, I didn't start Magog with just like a webcam and a Halloween costume. I probably put $3-4 grand into my startup costs. I mean, built a new computer so that I could run the proper editing software. I bought an $800 camera, a $300 microphone, $200, $300 lights, and then of course I put quite a bit of money into the set. You know, had to hit up the flea markets and find a bunch of stuff that looked like it belonged in a wizard tower. You know, had to put it all together, you know, order stuff off the internet that I couldn't find in the local stores and shops. And, you know, had to get, you know, the scrolls printed out and aged, you know, and just kind of put everything together. And it was, you know, build the green screen area so I could have the window over there. And then I had to, you know, build that in Photoshop and edit it and everything like that. And, yeah, it was a massive startup cost, and I had no idea whether or not it was going to be successful. Like, sometimes that's how I do. I just, like, jump 2 feet first into things without thinking of the consequences. If this hadn't worked out for me, I would have been out, like, $4 grand and had a fucking wizard tower in my living room for no fucking reason, you know?
Oh, yeah. I was listening to that stream with you and Undo where you talk about how much you put into here, and I was like, holy shit. It's a little more effort than I would have put into it. I started doing my videos off the Galaxy X6 and 2 apps.
Well, unfortunately, things are changing, and if they don't change for the better, I have no idea how long I'll be able to do this. And I don't mind saying this on your stream because there's not many people watching. I haven't announced this publicly, but I'll tell you guys. If by the end of this next semester that I'm about to go into, I start school again in 2 weeks. If by the end of this next semester, I'm not making enough money off of this YouTube gig to survive, I'm gonna have to call it. Because I'll have to get a normal job. There's no way for me to live off of what I'm currently making. Now, I'm not doing too bad. I love every one of my patrons. I love every one of my Magogonites, people who watch. I've had a great year on YouTube. I've had fun. But the only reason I've been able to survive this entire year is because I also have the GI Bill paying me to go to school. But this is my last semester with the GI Bill. They only give you 38 months of school. And I've been in school for 2.5 years now, 3 years going on, you know? So I'm coming to the end of my GI Bill, and that $1,300 a month is going to go away. So even if I stay in school, I'm going to have to use student loans and scholarships and stuff, I'm not going to be able to have that $1,300 a month coming in for the GI Bill. And so with only making like $1,000 on Patreon, and some occasional merchandise sales or whatever, with the ads not paying anything, there's just no way I could live off of that. There's just no way. I'd have to make a bare minimum of $1,500 on Patreon to keep going with Magog.
Like a month?
Yeah. To pay my bills? Yeah. And it's not like I'm in debt or anything, but rent ain't cheap. I pay, even here in Arkansas, rent ain't cheap. I pay, even if I bought a place, I'd probably end up with a $120,000 loan. I'd probably end up paying the same amount as I'm paying for rent for my mortgage. The good news is that I would be able to expand my operation and own land, and I would eventually own it. I kind of hate renting because you give all this money and you never own the place, You just live in it, for fucking ever. So here I'm at this apartment paying, $620 a month for rent, and then electricity on top of that, and my internet bills and my car payment, and, and all that stuff. And when you calculate that all together, I got about $1,400 in bills a month. And if I make any more money than that, that goes to my groceries, gas, and all that stuff. So if I don't make $1,500 a month by the time I'm out of school, I'm probably going to have to find a job and go back to the days when I first started this YouTube channel. I had 3 fucking jobs as well as school.
Oh, jeez.
And so I was only able to make a fucking Magog video every, when I could, like on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying I will quit YouTube altogether, but I definitely can't expand this business and do the show that I want to do with the meager amount of capital coming in. So,
yeah, it makes perfect sense. I hope you get that money. I would hate to see the content go down.
Yeah, if I get out of school in 16 weeks and I have not expanded my Patreon donations or my ads or my super chat money from doing live shows or whatever to equal the amount of money I need to survive, I'm going to have to find a job. And if I find a job, as well as continue going to school, as well as, because I do want to finish school. I'm already almost there, like I'm so close, might as well finish it. But with all of that, I'll probably have to scale back to like 1 episode every couple weeks or something. Like I'll end up losing my channel because I'm just not putting out the content anymore. And that's just the reality of the life we live. Long gone are the days where you could just put out a video a day and make fucking $5,000 a month off ads. You didn't even need Patreon back in the day. I'm talking to guys like Monday Matt and Undoomed, and fucking life was good in 2014. Life was good around Gamergate. Life was good in 2014, 2015. Those were golden years. You could put out like 2 videos a day, just real quick, get 100,000 views, and fucking boom, make $500 a day, on ads and shit, and they didn't demonetize anybody, But I don't make shit for ads. Even if I'm monetized, I don't make ads. I don't get the views. I think the last run of ads, I made like $20 for an entire month. I mean, it's bad, there's no way to make a living off of just advertisements anymore. So we really rely on our wonderful patrons and our wonderful audience to help us. Problem is, I'm not making that money. I'm not making enough. I'm making good amount for the size of channel I am. For somebody who only has, 23,000 subs, 1,000 a month on Patreon is not bad at all. That's not bad at all for 23,000 sub channel. But it's just not enough for anybody to live on. It's good part-time work. Don't get me wrong. It's good part-time. But I would need another part-time job after school ends to make at least another 1,000 a month, which means I'm going to get a job at a fucking print shop or something like that with my degree, with my art degree, my illustration and design degree. I'm going to have to find a job at like a print shop or a marketing company or something and pull part-time there just to make ends meet, just to keep this going. So, yeah, it's come down to the line. Magog might not exist anymore if I can't grow. So that's a potential thing that I have to worry about in the future, you know.
Yeah, it's always good to cover everything. That's one of the other reasons I started my vlogging channel, because trucking vlogs usually do pretty well as long as you're good about making your content, and that gives me something to fall back on if I or anything like that anymore.
Yeah, and you know, like I realized that a lot of my content was kind of changing. I started doing side quest, you know, the live streams and stuff, because that was fun. I really enjoy them. I really enjoy working with Beardbarian and Vamp and just having a good time on you know, kind of being live and being able to interact with my fans live. But I also realized that was kind of cluttering up my main channel. So I moved all the live streams to a live stream channel. So now my main channel at least is just nothing but edited content, you know, the nice videos that everybody enjoys. And the live streams can be over there on its own separate channel, so that the people who like the live streams can go over there and subscribe and see the damn live streams. And I can kind of keep that separate. But even that's not growing. I just hit 1,000 subs over there, and so I can't even monetize until I get 10,000 views or something. So that's not really a revenue. My live streams right now are not really a revenue stream anymore. Not like they were on my main channel, and that's fine. I mean, it happens. This is a business, you know. I'm trying to make this my job, and it's a tough life, because you have to be creative constantly, and you have to constantly do content, and you have to constantly think outside the box and try to bring something to YouTube nobody's ever seen before. And that can be very, very difficult sometimes, especially when there's just no good videos out there to make fun of, or there's nothing really to talk about except for, you know, the drama stuff that's going on. Obviously, I could have done a video talking about the Kilroy event or the Kraut and T server thing or being doxxed or whatever, and probably gotten some views, but that's temporary stuff, you know. Controversies come and go, you know. It's about making steady content that people really enjoy.
Yeah, touche. Something I actually noticed about that Kraut and T stuff with Liz and Zeph, though. Do you remember their entry for your Susan Wojcicki video?
Zeph and Liz's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in there. That was, of course, long before all this stuff happened.
I know. I rewatched it a few days ago just because I was bored, and I heard that part. And I was like, did she seriously just foreshadow what she was about to do?
Yep. You know, sometimes you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, you can't change the past. Yes, I've had Liz and Zeph in a video of mine, but that was long before all this stuff. You know, I'm not going to take it down just because they're in it, you know.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even applying anything like that. I've seen YouTubers that have collabed out videos that don't get along anymore.
Yeah, you know, I've been on the YouTube Saints multiple times. I've been on the Kumite multiple times. I've been on Andy Worski once or twice. You know, and all those guys hate each other now. You know, I'm over here like I just want to do my show and entertain my audience. You know, you know, so. That's kind of why I pulled out of a lot of the stuff, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know, man. It's just things are getting tough. I mean, I think 2018 could be a very good year if we could continue to grow as YouTube creators and stuff. People want to make this their job. There's potential here of doing great things. You know, I want to take Magog in a different direction. I want Magog to become a sitcom with like proper scripted shows and actors and sets and adventures, and it's going to be kind of cheesy and comedic, but also kind of fun and adventurous, kind of a parody on the things that are already popular in the fantasy genre, things like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. And I think it would be a real fun kind of thing to play with. But that takes the type of startup money to do a show like that, to be able to hire actors and build sets and get the proper camera and audio equipment to be able to edit in special effects and things like that. It takes the type of startup money that I just don't have, you know. So I'm gonna grassroots this thing, and I'm gonna try my very best, but We'll see what happens at the end of this semester. But I've really enjoyed my year of growth. I've really enjoyed being able to make enough money along with the GI Bill to quit all my jobs. That it's been a great year for being able to work for myself and just go to school, and that has been great. But if that doesn't change, once school is done, gonna have to go back to clocking in, go back to finding a 9 to 5. Probably head down to the Walmart, put my fucking application in, whatever will take me, because I can't just stop working. I've got to pay bills. So, and I'm not going to be a trucker again, as we already talked about. Anyway, that's about it, man. What do you guys have planned for 2018?
Hopefully finally getting videos out, but time will tell.
Well, don't let my problems with the platform and everything dissuade you, okay? It's always worth a shot. Just have a backup plan,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, when they start their YouTube channels, they think they're going to go big overnight or whatever have you, and they can quit their jobs. Don't quit your job.
Oh, yeah. I don't plan to.
Make it a fun thing you do on the part-time, and that's just fine. And that's what Magog will turn into probably. It'll be exhausting, though. See, the difference is a lot of people, you can make videos pretty quick. Most people. You do a little research, you write your script. If you're good and natural at it, you can spend practically no time doing videos. But Magog, it's tough to do Magog as a part-time gig as well as work and go to school simply because the amount of time it takes to do a video. I've got to get a costume, character. I've got to write the script. I've got to do the research. I've got to turn on all the lights and the camera and everything. And then after that, it's all editing. I got to do green screen effects, CGI. I've got to add special effects. I've got to put the video together. I've got to splice it and cut it. I've got to manipulate the sound, make it sound good and everything like that. It actually takes me less time to do a Poe video than a Magog video. A Magog video can take a solid 8 hours. On the low end, I've spent upward of 16 hours on Magog videos before.
Yeah, I believe that. Which, a curious question on Poe. Do his eyes actually glow, or do you have to edit that?
It's all Photoshop, baby. That is all edited.
That'd have been kind of funny for like live streams if you had a little Poe that you hit a button, his eyes glow, and then you could just stand at the back and talk.
Yeah, but that would take some animatronic work, and and that's not my business. I don't know much about all that kind of stuff,
Yeah, understandable. The most I could probably figure out how to do is make his eyes glow, but
yeah,
that's just because I'm really good with wires.
All I did was create a layer for his eyes that is a separate transparent layer. So when I add the appropriate, pose for him, when he starts to talk, all I do is add a layer on top of that, and his eyes turn on. It's pretty easy, actually, once you have it all drawn up. Most of the work is already done. You do still have to line up the character with the sound and everything and make his head turn and all that stuff. So it's animation, but it's snap animation. It's not fluid animation. Like when he turns his head, it's just switching from one image to another. I don't have 30 frames of animation in between. I would like to get to a point where Poe is actual, like, little animatronic dead bird that is more like a puppet that can be controlled by somebody off screen, so that when we're doing new episodes, when we're doing the sitcom and stuff, Poe can actually interact real time and his eyes turn on and things like that. But that's a long way off. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Still be entertaining, though.
Yep.
But so that was my other question on Poe. Like, do you take new pictures every time you do a Midnight Dreary, or do you have like a set of pictures of him sitting there that you just put into the shop
put it into the video after you had done the voice.
Nope, they're the same pictures. That would be crazy to set up Poe every time just to do an episode. No, that's counterproductive, man.
Yeah, I figured so. Like, and holy crap! You know that YouTuber Batning, right?
Yeah, I know Batning. I've talked to him many times.
Oh, I think I haven't speak to him before, except for a couple interactions on Twitter. But I love how much work he puts into his videos too. Because even though he's just a cartoon bat, he did a video where he was showing how he animates the bat, and holy crap, it took him like 10 minutes to edit like 30 seconds of.
Yeah, it doesn't take long when you're using snap animations. I mean, it's just like it takes me about the same length of time. The only thing that adds work to me is that mine aren't just one image. I have to add the eyes glowing at a certain time, so there is some editing involved there. You know, I've got to scale down the red eyes to make sure they only turn on when a sound plays. You know, when Poe actually talks. And then they turn off when he's silent. And so that adds a little to it. But for the most part, Poe episodes take me like 2.5 hours once I have the script written and everything. Now, once again, I mean, that can take fucking hours if I'm trying to find the right, you know, advice column to do, or and then having to write the script, the jokes for it and everything. That's really what takes a lot of work. If I had a backlog of scripts and videos and advice columns already chosen, I'd be able to do Magog and Poe every day. But I don't have the kind of time to research these things and find the right videos and find the right advice columns and then pre-write scripts. But if I already had scripts and videos on hand, I could probably do Poe and Magog every day because it's all just filming and editing. And that doesn't take as long once you have everything, you know. It's not as long as you might think, just that part of it. But a lot of the work is research. I have to sit here in front of the computer for like 2 hours and listen to these fucking videos and fucking cringe my ass off at the fucking stupidity that I'm watching and try to find the right video to respond to. And it gets tough sometimes. It gets mentally draining and emotionally draining, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's the other thing I'm hoping for this next year too. I'm hoping to get equipment so that I can, instead of filming it all off a cell phone, because I have to stop somewhere with Wi-Fi and download the video I'm responding to. I have to transfer it from my computer to my phone, use a movie maker app to cut it down into small bits that I'm going to respond to, and then I have to use another app to add together with my responses after I film them. And then sometimes if I'm adding, like I've put a couple Family Guy clips in there, I think I used a Poe clip once, I have to use a screen recorder to get those sometimes, so I don't have to download the entire. I borrowed a clip off of the second Midnight Dreary episode, and I had to use a screen recorder to get that, so I didn't have to download the whole thing and then edit it down to a 10-second clip.
Right.
Another pain in the ass, but it's time consuming, and I'm just sitting there tapping on my phone the whole time. I'm hoping to get it to where I can do this crap on the computer, because that's not as strenuous as looking at your phone for 5 hours.
Yeah. No, yeah, you definitely need to streamline your process a little better there, buddy. It is tough, man, starting a YouTube channel and splicing videos. And I mean, I used to think, I was one of those people that used to think, you know, oh man, I watch these YouTubers and I'm like, what a fucking cushy job. I get to sit at home, write funny shit, splice it together and upload it. And then they make thousands of dollars. You know, some of these bigger guys, Bering and Sargon and people like that. And I'm sitting there going, man, I had a fucking easy job. And then when I started doing it, I now have a much bigger respect for content creators on the internet.
Yeah, same here, because they do a lot of work.
Especially if you're trying to be something different. Now, if you're just going to go in and use like an avatar that doesn't really move, and it's all just voice work, and it's all just research, and you're a talented enough person to make that work for you. There is nothing wrong with that. But if you're one of these people that like to think outside the box and try something new, if you're somebody like me who wants to do a character and actually have like a costume and props and proper lighting and all that stuff, it becomes a whole new monster,
Oh yeah.
And it's a kick in the fucking nuts sometimes. It really is. Like, I was going to do a video this weekend. I'm gonna let you guys in a little like a little fucking behind the scenes. I was gonna do a video this weekend. It was gonna be an easy video because I'm trying to work on a lore video, so I needed to get a video done this weekend so that people were happy, they get content, and then I could spend the rest of the week, the New Year week, working on a lore video to release next week. And here I am Saturday going, I've got plenty of time, and I'm researching, and I've decided I found a video I liked. I thought, I've not done a video on this person yet. He's pretty annoying. I figured I'd give it a go, and I'm watching this video, and it's like 20 minutes long, right? And by the middle of it, I just was like, I hate my life. I hate that I have to sit through Vegan Gains, talk about veganism like it's the fucking God's only choice of the way of life. And then basically like being incredibly violent towards other YouTubers who just don't care about veganism. And I'm sitting here going, I got to do a video on this guy. I've never done a video on Vegan Gains yet, but it's so hard to sit through his cringy fucking ass. It was so emotionally draining that by Sunday I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go out with some friends. It's fucking New Year's Eve, like. So I got nothing fucking done. Because of Vegan Gains. I was just watching one Vegan Gains video made me want to puke in my fucking soup. Just, I don't understand how some of these people fucking exist, to be honest with you. Like, I don't understand how somebody can be that fucking annoying. I really don't. I didn't think it was possible. I now believe that Mike Judge's Idiocracy film is coming true. It's fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, no, I've lost track of how many videos I've watched the original of this, trying to decide if I could respond to it or not, and I'm just sitting there like, I have lost so many brain cells listening to this, I can't even make fun of it.
Yeah, like I literally was like, oh, I'll write some good jokes about Vegan Gain. This will be easy. And 5 minutes in, I was just literally typing like, you're a retard, you're a retard, you're a retard, you're a retard, you're a fucking retard. Like, and I've got nothing against actual vegans. Like, if that you live your life how you want to live your life, especially if you live in a country that allows you to live your life like that. We live in a very wealthy country that food is plentiful. And even our poor are nothing compared to the poor of other countries, and you have a lot of choices and freedoms in this country to live your life how you live. And I got no problem with that. It's the people who literally get on and be like, everybody should live like me because I'm better than all of you. And if you don't agree, you should die. Like, it's when you run across somebody like that where you're just like, okay, fucker, I'm after you now. Like, that's it. Like, Jesus, man, like, how could somebody be so fucking, like, the lack of self-awareness is amazing.
Yeah, I know, that was my thought with Melissa A. Fabella, the last video. Actually, technically, the last 2 response videos I did, because I saw Undoom's video on her, and I was like, okay, she has probably got something that I can respond to myself. And I was also considering responding to the same video that he responded to. But I got in there, I watched the video she did before that. It was talked about body-based oppression, and oh my god, it was so dumb. Listening to that one and then the other one, oh my god, that was just ridiculous. Just because she has no explanations for any of her opinions, no proof that any of her opinions are actually fact, and like I'm just editing this thing, listening to her talk
each of these points, and I just feel like I'm getting dumber each time I play a clip.
Yep. And, you know, I realize that even with that, this job is like super cake compared to other jobs out there. I am not disregarding that at all. Like, I would still, even with the mental anguish that I put myself through, I would still much rather do this than go back to like cleaning toilets or fucking working in a sewage plant or something, you know? And there's nothing wrong with those jobs. If you're doing those jobs, man, fucking more power to you. Be the best goddamn janitor that's ever fucking existed. I actually like being a janitor. You go in, you fucking do your job, you fucking leave, man. You listen to fucking music. Like, that was a great fucking job, but it's still like low pay, you know, no room for, you know, improvement, no room for moving up the corporate ladder, if you will. You've really got to kind of take life into your own hands and do what you're passionate about and try to find a way to get paid for it. And that's tough. That's hard to do. 90% of people in this country just work a job to pay the bills, you know? And I've always been one of those people too. Just do a job that pays me enough money to where I can do what I want to do when I'm not working. My life has always been more about what I like to do outside of work. I didn't care what I did for a living. I never was one of these career guys. I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. Every time I got asked that question in elementary school, kids will say, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a this. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a this. I want to be a pilot. And then I'm over here and they'd be like, what do you want to be? And I'd be like, I want to be a wizard on YouTube. You know, like, I didn't know. I fucking didn't know.
Yeah, I had a buddy like that back in high school. The teachers would always ask us, what are you going to do after high school? What are you going to do? He was on the note of, I am going to do whatever makes me money. That was his mindset.
Yep.
And they wouldn't accept that answer to the point he finally just started telling them he was going to deal drugs.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, my counselor was always pissed at me. He was like, are you going to go to college? And I was like, no. Like, well, what are you going to do? Well, I got a job already. Well, that's not a career. I don't care. Maybe you should look at the military. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. What are you going to do with your life? Whatever I need to do to make money. You know, like, and it just didn't dawn on him because it's just hammered into academia. You know, anybody who's in academia for a long period of time gets hammered in your head. You got to talk people into going to college. You got to go to college. You got to go, blah, blah, blah. And I just never believed that. If you had a fucking good job, I think you can live a happy life even if you have a shit job that you hate, if you find the time to do the things you love to do outside of work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like my job's got its downsides. I mean, I'm away from my family a month at a time. I have a kid at home that I only get to see like 1 or 2 days out of the month, but I still love my job, and I love my job. YouTube's a good hobby to keep me busy while I'm out here, and I'm one of the flexible guys where if I have to quit this job and do like a day cab driving job or go back to work in a 9-to-5 factory job, I can do it. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I have found that there's a lot of people in this country that are just happy when they have a job. It doesn't matter what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've lived like that since I was 16 years old. I've hopped from job to the military and back home to do more odd jobs. I've worked for security companies. I've worked as a janitor. I've worked in retail. You fucking name it. I even used to work the fairgrounds when the fucking state fair would come in. I'd fucking chuck trash all day long. You know? Like, you know, fucking driving around the fairgrounds, emptying out these big 50-gallon fucking oil barrels that have trash bags in them filled with fucking food and fucking corn dogs and shit and fucking dirty diapers and shit. And I'd chuck that trash. I'd fucking pull that bag of trash out, tie it into a knot, throw it in the back of the fucking trailer, put a new bag in it. You know, that's what I did. I did whatever the fuck I could get a hold of, you know, because guess what? It turns out that I can just lose myself in the work and literally be in my own head and do the things I like to do outside of work. So at the end of the day, I just found out that I just like money. You know? I just like having money so I can do the things I want to do. Like a lot of people, they don't have hobbies because their jobs go towards their entire life, just keeping them afloat. And that's what's sad. is that people don't make enough money to actually like get off of work and be like, I have this that I like to go do. I people say they like to travel, but they only get to do it, every 5 years. They'll take a week off and go on a cruise or something. And, like, to me, it's no way to live. You've got to really hustle in life and work your fucking fingers to the bone to make enough money so that when you finally have a little spare time to yourself, you get to do what you want to do. I would have never been able to start this channel 2 years ago. I didn't have the finances. I didn't have the time or the finances. I had to work my ass off to get to the point of finally being able to do this. And that's why I didn't start a channel back in 2014 when Gamergate happened, even though I was watching all those videos and I was fascinated with YouTube. I was fascinated with the idea of being a content creator. It would get me back into my creative swing, filmmaking and writing and artwork and stuff that I really enjoy doing. And I just never did it back then because there was no way. I was barely making ends meet at the time, And when I first got out of the military, I had to just live with my parents for a little while before I got up on my feet. I didn't even have a place. I wasn't expecting coming home from the military. I wasn't expecting to get injured in Iraq, and I had to come home and start my life all over again. So it took me a long time to get here.
Anyway. Yeah, it's tough, but I remember the least stressful time I did have working, though, was back when I lived in Ohio, because I was working a third shift factory job. Technically I was a temp because it was through a temp agency, but I was just pulling parts off a press and putting them on a rack. That was 90% of my job, and I didn't have that much stress aside from just paying bills, which wasn't even that hard until I lost that job because the temp agency got switched out. But it was basically just going to work, pull the shit off the press, put it on a rack for 8 hours, and then go home.
Right. Yep. We've all worked shit jobs, man, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a stepping stone towards a better future, and I've even worked at I even drove a truck for a while that hauled sheetrock to construction sites, and that was fucking tough. I didn't work that job for very long. It was killer. That was some killer fucking hours, 16-hour days, fucking unloading sheetrock and carrying it up into a fucking skyscraper on a fucking cart, so that those construction guys can finish what they're fucking doing. That shit was brutal, man. And then I worked at a fucking Camping World cleaning RVs that people turn in, they trade in their RV and get a new one. And these old RVs, they get sold used. And in order to sell them used, they got to be fucking cleaned inside and out. I had to crawl into the fucking shit tanks and scrub them out, like that shit. I've done that kind of shit. That shit was fucking brutal. I'd much rather be a YouTuber out in the freezing fucking cold wearing like 3 fucking coats and gloves, scrubbing fucking shit out the bottom of a fucking RV. Yeah, you damn right.
Working cattle for a guy that doesn't know when he's going to send you home for the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, holy shit! I hated that guy.
There's much worse out there. Don't get me wrong, and there's also nothing wrong with that good hard work because some of it pays well. That RV job, man. If I had held on to it, I'd probably be rich as shit in a couple of years. I mean, they were paying me $17.50 an hour, and they were paying me for 12 to 15-hour days. I was getting massive overtime, and because that's a booming business right there. People trading RVs in and cleaning RVs and having their RVs cleaned and buying new RVs. So you got to unwrap them and driving the RVs to shows so that you can show, these fucking camping shows and stuff like that. You park all the RVs in a big convention center and you fucking show them off to people and stuff. That was a crazy fucking job, man. That was fucking insane, man. And they paid us a buttload of money. I knew a guy who worked there. He's like, man, I've only been working here 5 years. I already paid off my house. Like this shit doesn't end, man. It's like straight 12. You get overtime literally the entire time you work here. Like that's how booming that business is.
Oh yeah, that actually sounds like a job I wouldn't mind taking if I had to get out of this job.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, put in a fucking application at Camping World if you have one nearby. Them motherfuckers, they'll pay you good, man. But the problem was that it was bust-ass work, too. It was killing my fucking back, because my injuries, I blew a disc in my fucking spine in Iraq. I mean, crawling around on fucking RV floors and crawling into the bellies of these RVs where they store the shit tubes and everything. Yeah, fucking killer, man. I'd get off from a 16-hour fucking workday. I'd go home and I'd just fucking lay there. Like, you know, like I had no energy to do anything else, you know?
Yeah, I know that there's some things that I've got to be careful doing because I have sprained both of my knees multiple times. And one of them, I don't think it healed properly because my kneecap feels like it's not in where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. That's not a good thing when your leg turns inside out like the aliens on that Arrival movie.
I'm not even going to watch. I don't even think I want to know what that looks like because I...
Well, you never saw that movie?
I'm not even joking. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's a great movie. That's fucking cheesy as shit. I love those cheesy alien movies from the 90s.
What was it called again?
Arrival. Not like the new one that just came out, but like the one with Charlie Sheen in it, where the aliens are amongst us and they cock their fucking legs inside out and they run like fucking cantaloupe. Antelope. I said cantaloupe instead of antelope. I guess I'm hungry for cantaloupe. A little Freudian slip there.
Yeah, watching that would probably make me cry because I get phantom pains that feel like exactly what happened when I sprained my knee anytime I hear about a knee injury.
Yeah, that does happen. Oh, shit. Well, anyway, it's been an hour, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I don't like to stream for long periods of time anymore because, you know, people don't watch them after they break an hour, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Except for the Kumite, apparently. He had 2,000. Fucking Tonka had 2,000 people watching for 8 hours straight. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that was the longest. That was the longest fucking. I didn't sit through it. That's for damn sure. I saw it later on after they finally turned it off. I saw it. It was like 8 hours and 16 minutes or something like that. And I was like, Jesus, good Lord. I don't have the fucking stamina for that, being on a live stream that long. I've done that a couple of times, and it's exhausting. I've done it with Undoomed because, you know, he doesn't sleep.
I've assumed so because every stream I've seen has been like 3 to 4 hours long.
Yep. Easy. Very, very, very easily fucking hours and hours long. But, you know, that's just, you know, people like to talk. Some people are better at that than I am. I get impatient, I guess. I'm like, I need to go do something. You know, you ask anybody I talk to on the regular basis, they'll like text me or something and be like, why didn't you answer till like 30 minutes later? Well, I was working. Like, I'm always doing something. I'm always just working on something, piece of artwork, animation, writing a script. I've just got to, you know, I keep going. I just, you know, I got to pour myself into it. You know, the only way to make this work, you put in the work now so that later on, once it's established and it's steady and you've got other people on board helping you out, you're able to hire writers or something like that, you know, and actually make it a business. That's when you can afford to take like a weekends off and fucking have a normal life. But right now, when you start a new YouTube channel, you got to put in the work, and it's long work too. You got to do the videos. You can't just put it aside. And even with the amount of work I put into all this, I still can't seem to release more than 1 or 2 videos a week, simply because they take so long to edit and they take so long to write and perform and film and all that stuff. And then on top of that, this is like my 2 weeks off of school and I'm back in full-time school again. So, you know, I don't get me wrong. There has been times that I've just kind of taken a break from it all because I am on break from school. I've taken a day for myself, you know, and just fucking watched movies, you know, because I know that that's not going to fucking happen once I start school again, you know.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I have roughly 2 to 4 hours to basically film, take care of the dogs, and get my dinner and get ready for bed every time I end a shift.
Yeah, it's a tough life. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. You can keep streaming if you want, but I'm gonna bounce.
Andrew doesn't want to go, he said.
Alrighty, we can. Was that Mom, John?
Yeah, she's yelling at Dad.
Alrighty, yeah. But yeah, man, thanks for hopping on, and let us know when you have some free time. We'll talk about John's character here.
Yeah. Like I said,
Whoop.
once once on New Year's underway, you know, we'll make some time to do an off air. Figured we wouldn't want to discuss that live.
Yeah, I don't want to release spoilers.
Right. But it would also help if you wrote up something a little bit and just sent it to me. You can go ahead and do that.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
You
we've
know,
been working on that too.
And that way I have kind of a basic idea, and you know, and I'll try to get with you guys here soon about that, you know, and see what you got going on. But you also, you know, you can't stay in the idea phase for too long. I don't know how much I can help you, because you just got to start doing content. You got to have a library of content before you can get, you know, shout outs and do collabs and things like that. You've got to show people that you're serious about your channel, you know.
Yeah.
And so just, you know, concentrate on creating what you want to create, man, and just start getting them videos out there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the plan. And actually, John, maybe I'll call you when we're done with the stream, and we'll talk about something like that.
That works.
Yep. So, but yeah, if you write down the basic idea of what you want to try to do, I can try to help you out, you know, just send me a message or whatever. And then once this hellish week gets over with and I can get a video done and work on that lore video a little bit, I could probably spare a couple hours, maybe next weekend, next Saturday or something, and get on and off air with you guys and talk about what you have. So I'll give you until Saturday to at least write up some basic shit and send it to me.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Sound
Good
good?
for us.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody in the chat. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. I might stream later and try to update my my fans on my channel with, or at least the live stream channel with what I plan for 2018. I don't know if I will or not, but if I do, I'm sure you guys will see the alerts. But thanks for having me over.
Yeah, not a problem. And like I said, I'm stuck here all day. So if you decide you want somebody to chat with when you get on that stream, you can feel free to hit me up.
I'll let you know, buddy.
Alrighty.
Well, it was good, and it was nice meeting you, brother John. I call you Brother John.
Works for me.
Brother John. How many freaking nicknames do you have now?
A lot.
Right. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the flip.
All right, catch you later.
Yep.
Take care.
You don't talk much.
It's because it was either you or him talking.
Yeah, I know. But anyway,
And every time I try to talk, somebody would interrupt me, like you.
sorry about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll work on that next time we stream. Actually, do you want to keep this going? Because that Max feller in the chat was saying he'd like to chat with us.
Shit, bring him on. I don't care.
Hey, Max, you still there? You want to come on?
Type 1 in the chat if you want to join. Did you see something? Did you see the bitching witches? Oh yeah, did you?
Did what?
The bitching witches comment after Magog was sitting there saying cantaloupes. Said something about cantaloupes meaning antelopes. It was right when you said that you'd bring Max on sometime. She was like, melons don't run. Oh, shit. I need to get with James and Amanda, though, and get the last little bit of my costume done and get that first video done and out.
Yeah, I was thinking.
What we
Yeah, we
might
can
end up
script
doing
something out.
before we do... What we might end up doing before we do the video where the one that I get James's character in, before we do that, we might go up like to Palmer Park or wherever the hell they wanted to go to. Costume, everything. Get there, get in costume, and film like an intro video. Like that. And not like a channel trailer video or anything like that, but film a stupid little short video thing just to get something up.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Do you have a good camera back at home?
James and Amanda have a good camera. Fuck 'em.
Good character. We can't film with a character. We need to film the character.
The characters. Plural. I think.
Anyway, I'm going to mute this for 1 minute so I can take a piss, and then I'll check and see if anybody else wants to come on, and if nobody does, then we'll go ahead and just call it.
We have 5 watching, ain't nobody commenting. Holy shit. What, Bubba? I will hurry, shut up. Go check outside and see how warm it is. Go outside and check, you dumb shit. Gotta hate it when little brothers being shitheads.
Brothers, they said. It was awesome, they said.
Fucking hell. If anybody wants to join on, then comment in the chats that you want to join, and Hey Dude will send the link out. Ain't nobody commenting.
So far, nada.
We
Nobody
have
loves
5
us
watching and
anymore.
nobody we have 5 people watching.
I guess 5 people like watching us talk.
Apparently. One of them I bet you is me, because I have it open to watch the chat.
Yeah, it might be. Looks like people are taking off, so I guess we'll
Yeah.
cut it here. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in to check this out. If you haven't subscribed to me or Benjimous, please do. I
will
have
get
content coming
videos
out once.
soon.
Yeah, he'll get videos
Hopefully.
up soon. I got videos coming out once a week, but thank y'all for tuning in.
Whoop whoop.